Hello there, this is the Bookkeeping Master on YouTube. Welcome to this video. Thank you for being with me today. This is the first video of two videos that will teach you the basics of payroll. My name is the Bookkeeping Master. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've come across the video through YouTube or through Google, then please head over to my website, freebookkeepingaccounting.com, because YouTube doesn't always recommend the next video to watch. It's not very good at suggesting to you part 2, part 3 of a particular course. So if you head over to freebookkeepingaccounting.com, click on the Payroll Basics course, you'll see this video and part 2 of the course listed for you. It's a lot easier watching it from the website. There's no registration required, there's no cost involved, it's all for free, so just head over there and watch both of these videos. So as mentioned, this course is going to teach the basics of payroll. It's going to be fairly straightforward, but hopefully in depth enough for you to understand what payroll is, why we do payroll, and how you do payroll. So to answer those first two questions, what is payroll? Well, payroll is the accounting of salaries and wages for a business, a company, or another entity such as a charity. Why do we do payroll? Well, it's generally, in most countries, as far as I know, a legal requirement to do the payroll and to submit to governing bodies how much someone has been paid. But there's more to it than that. We need to do payroll to ensure that people are paid correctly, that they are paid the right amount of money that they're owed, that employees are paid the right amount of money, and that the correct deductions have been made from their wage. So a company may offer a company pension, for example, and that's generally taken from someone's wage or salary. That's all part of the payroll process. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what payroll is and why we do payroll. We're now going to spend the rest of the course really talking about how you do payroll. And to make things easier for you, I've created a 5-step process to completing payroll. And step 4 here, wages journals, that's actually probably the most complex step of the payroll process. And the second video in this course is all about wages journals. So in this video I'm going to go through all 5 steps, but not too much in detail when it comes to step 4. That will be covered in greater detail in the second video of this course. So let's jump right in and start with step 1. So when we're running payroll, the first thing we need to do is collect data. Now most people that run payroll use payroll software. They have software that helps them account for wages, make deductions on those wages, produce pay slips, send reports to HMRC or whichever governing body requires the data. There's payroll software that helps them do that. But before they can actually start using that software, they have to collect data. If you're familiar with doing accounting, in order to do someone's accounts, in order to record expenses, sales, in order to reconcile a bank account, you need data to do that. You need a bank statement, or you need a list of sales invoices or purchase invoices, receipts. And it's the same with payroll. So to do payroll, you need to collect data first of all. The first thing you need to collect is the data of employees. The company will need to add its employees to the payroll software. So employees' names, addresses, national insurance number, which is a social security number if you're in the US, and other personal information is usually collected so the employee can be added to payroll software. So that's generally done just the once, and then every time payroll needs to be run, more data needs to be collected. Things like timesheets. You need to know how much to pay someone, and if they're paid per hour, you need that information, such as a timesheet, which will show you how many hours a employee has worked. Or perhaps they're paid by commission, so you'll need the relevant data that shows how much commission a certain employee has earned. So step one is collecting that data. If someone's on a salary and they get the same amount every month, then the collection of data is a lot easier. But obviously if they are paid per hour, you need to know how many hours they've worked. I've mentioned commissions, and there could be other information that you need to collect before you can actually start the payroll. So step two is processing that information, and this is all done on payroll software. Pretty simply, all you would do is mark the allocated gross pay for each employee, and the payroll software should do everything else for you. If the payroll software has been set up correctly, it will automatically calculate and apply deductions from that person's pay, or calculate the net pay. It will produce a pay slip. It should do everything for you. All it will ask for is the gross pay against each employee. And obviously you need to know how to work around software. This course isn't about payroll software, it's about how to do the payroll. But step two is relatively easy. It's just data entry. You've got your data from your timesheets or whatever, and you're entering that into the payroll software. So step three, we then submit that data. That's usually submitting the data to HMRC if you're in the UK, but it's submitting that data to the governing body. So whichever country you're in, there will be some sort of governing body, at least one, that will want the payroll data, and that's submitted to that governing body. Once again, payroll software should make this very easy for you, and you should be able to submit the data through the payroll software. Here in the UK, most payroll software just requires you to click a button to submit, enter some login details, and that information will be submitted to the relevant body. Step four is the wages journal. And as mentioned, this is the more complicated part of payroll for me and for a lot of people, because what we're going to do with the wages journals is we need to reflect in the financial accounts what has happened with the wages. So I have a slide here just to try and make things more clear for you. So if you understand debits and credits, when we run payroll and want to account for that in the financial accounts, it's not as simple or as easy as debit, wages expense, and credit, current account, the bank current account. For someone who's new to payroll or new to accounting, they may think that's the double entry that needs to take place, but it's really not. If you think of a wage slip, there is a lot of information on that wage slip, such as gross pay, deductions, perhaps student loan deductions, tax deductions, national insurance or social security deductions. They may pay into a pension, that will be deducted. The wage slip, the pay slip, will also show net pay. If you're here in the UK, the employer will also pay national insurance. So there's a lot of information on pay slips, and there's lots of deductions and things going on. So it's not as easy as doing debit, wages, expense, and credit, the bank account, because there is a lot going on here. We have gross pay, we have net pay, we have tax, we have national insurance, we have money that we owe to the employee, we have money we owe to HMRC, and wages journals will cover all of that. So in the next video we'll go into this in a bit more detail. Step 5 is simply to make payment to the employee and to make payment to the governing bodies. So if we've made any deductions for student loans, for pensions, for tax and national insurance, that will need paying to the correct governing body. So we go back to the process here. We have step 1, you collect the data. Step 2, you enter that data into the payroll software. Step 3, you submit that data to the governing body. Step 4, you do the wages journals to reflect what's happened into the financial accounts. Step 5, you make payment to the employee and the governing bodies. Now I understand this video is only about 10 minutes long and I've gone through things quite quickly. This is simply to give you a basic understanding of the payroll process, but obviously there is another video in this course which will go through wages journals in more detail. As mentioned earlier, if you're not watching this on the website, I suggest you do, because you may not be able to find this next video in this course just on YouTube, but I will put a link in the description just to help you along. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll speak to you in video 2. All likes really do help. All subscriptions really do help. I am doing this off my own back. I'm not being paid by you to do this video, this course. So any help is appreciated, and I'll speak to you in the next video.